जब से चैट जीपीटी आया है, ऑल आई कीप हेयरिंग इज इट्स गोइंग टू रिप्लेस डेवलपर्स, इट्स गोइंग टू रिप्लेस सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर्स, लेकिन अभी तक दैट्स ऑल अबाउट जजिंग माई लाइफ चॉइसेस। अभी तक जो चैट जीपीटी कुछ भी रिप्लेस नहीं कर पाया है, बट वी आर गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट हाउ इज AI shaping the life of developers. How can you use AI to make the best out of your daily life work? I remember jab ChatGPT when it was first launched, everybody out there was talking about how all the jobs are going to get replaced, and there are some jobs that did get replaced. For example, the job of a content writer, even though it's not replaced to a complete extent, but for the most part, for redundant tasks of a content writer, AI can take over. And there are some other things as well. For like a basic website, you can now use AI to generate completely normal looking website if you don't want anything extraordinary for your website. So these are some things that yes have been replaced, but can you see the pattern here कि आपको इन सब चीजों में कोई चीज common नजर आ रही है? Only the things that are redundant or repetitive or just ordinary are being replaced by AI so far. AI does not seem to be replacing creativity, but who knows, maybe in the future sometime. But how is it that you and I, people like us, can make the best use of AI in our daily lives? Being a developer, when ChatGPT came, so when I started using it for the first time, the first prompt that I gave it regarding coding was to generate me an HTML page with some functionalities here and there based on JavaScript. Okay, and the page it created was exactly how the prompt was. ठीक है, उसने prompt के accordingly the page was generated, and I was very shocked to see कि we have gotten this far. Maybe what everybody is saying is right कि AI is going to replace all the jobs and it's going to take my job as well. But that bubble burst quickly as soon as I told it to create a React app. Well, there it was. The React app that it created had a lot of architectural issues. It had a lot of functionality related issues. It had a lot of performance issues, and it had all kinds of issues that would have been overlooked if I wasn't a developer myself. So यहाँ पे मेरा fear was slightly shaken and the curiosity was more taking hold of my mind कि क्या क्या ऐसी चीजें हैं जो AI accurately कर सकती है, ठीक है, but I find it difficult to do, which is time consuming for me, but it's easy for AI, ठीक है. I had to figure those things out, and then I had to figure out a way to compile those things to become into that large scale application that I wanted to do. So instead of asking AI to do a complete React application for me, I asked it to write smaller functions for each of the functionalities that I was hoping would be in the React app. So जैसे it was a simple CRUD app for a book inventory, ठीक है, तो मैंने उसमें एक search की functionality भी add की हुई थी at the top. So what I did was I asked ChatGPT to create that search functionality for me. I provided it the schema for the book object, and I asked it to do the search functionality for me while implementing debounce and throttle. While it should have taken me quite a lot of time to do the debounce and throttle myself, ChatGPT did it just fine. But now I had to do all of the other parts as well and then piece them together. I created the form, the front end part of it, okay, and then I created the table where all the books would have been shown, everything separately in smaller chunks, okay, and then I put them all together. And when I put them all together, there were still missing pieces here and there, ठीक है, जहाँ पे किसी जगह पे ChatGPT ने उसके बुक के स्कीमा के अंदर कोई चेंजेस कर दिए, ठीक है, किसी जगह पे उसने वेरिएबल्स के अंदर वेरिएबल नेम्स के अंदर कोई चेंजेस कर दिए, किसी जगह पे फंक्शन नेम्स के अंदर और किसी जगह पे किसी कंपोनेंट नेम्स के अंदर, and there were all of these slight missing changes everywhere in the application. And since it was all pieced together, it was very difficult to figure out. And this is actually what happened to Vibe coders as well in these last few months. Now, I had to figure out all of those bugs on my own, and I had to find them out on my own, and it took me as much time as it probably would have taken me to create the entire app myself. That I found the most frustrating. So I figured out ChatGPT is hallucinating. There is a memory problem. ChatGPT does not seem to remember everything that I tell it. It keeps the most part, but there are still some slip-ups here and there, and those can lead to some bugs which are very hard to figure out on their own. So there goes my fear, right? That moment I realized that ChatGPT is not going to take my job. AI is not taking my job anytime soon. Why? Because these bugs need to be fixed. Any Vibe coder or anybody or any AI can compile down an application that size, but it will have the bugs and it will have the problems with memory, with optimization, with performances, and those need to be taken care of by a real developer, by somebody who has a creative mind and somebody who has an eye for detail, and somebody who has a stronger memory than ChatGPT or any other AI out there. So how I cater to that problem? I started having ChatGPT or all kinds of other AI, Gemini and stuff. I had them write the generic code for everything that I need. For example, I have an app planned out, ठीक है, उसमें let's say XYZ features होने वाले हैं. For X features, I'm gonna tell ChatGPT to provide me a code, ठीक है, and I would tell it to specifically keep these things in mind, ठीक है, and then I would use that in my application, ठीक है. And that was back when ChatGPT was new and there was no GitHub Copilot or Cursor in the market right now, ठीक है. And generic code मैंने उससे लिखवा के and then सारा code इकट्ठे compile करके, what you would do is you would use your specific variable names or specific function names and all the specific details all at once in your code. आप उसमें specific details को generic details के साथ replace कर सकते हो, and that's how you have got a working application in lesser time than vibe coding, ठीक है. But this is a strategy that you had to think of at that time. Right now, what you can do is you have Cursor and you have GitHub Copilot. I personally use GitHub Copilot with VS Code. So what you can do is you can just, tell GitHub Copilot if the current line that they're suggesting is correct or not. GitHub Copilot आपको कोड लिखते हुए अगली लाइन सजेस्ट करता रहता है, and you just have to, say yes or no to it. And I think that works fine for the most part, right? At some point, when you start forgetting कि code लिखना कैसे है, that's when the problem arises. अब you have depended on AI so much for these past few months कि you don't even remember how to write code yourself. And once you let's say you've lost your job and you go into an interview and they ask you to write a few lines of code and you are unable to do it now. How do we start to use AI in such a way that we don't depend on it, ठीक है, and at the same time while making the best use out of it? So there are some problems now, you see, like writing a regular expression, ठीक है, or some complicated problems that would take you a lot of time, but we already know how to do them. Okay, for example, the function to throttle or the function to debounce. Okay, those are some functions that are repetitively used in a similar manner, so you would always remember कि इस function को लिखना कैसे है. ठीक है, have AI write it a couple of times for you in multiple projects, but once in a while do it yourself as well. Keep reminding yourself what you already know so that you don't forget it when it's needed. Similarly, instead of asking ChatGPT to create an entire project for you, ठीक है, आप ChatGPT से अपनी requirements discuss करो and then you ask it कि कौन सा architecture pattern है या कौन सा system design है which is going to best suit this application. What tech stack is going to best suit it, ठीक है. Have architectural or systematic conversations with AI and get to a better understanding about your application, about your understanding of the application. Previously, when an architecture design used to take you an entire day to design just one application, okay, and then it would also take you a day on top of it to come up with the perfect database architecture. Now it doesn't work that way. AI can help you with all of these things that you previously used to spend quite a lot of time working on, okay, and you would spend most of your time doing these things, and now AI can replace those redundant tasks. So once you are ready to ask fundamental questions, once you are ready to ask better questions, better prompts are in your head, you can use AI to be a better developer. You must learn to use AI to plan your code, not just write it. AI को आपने सिर्फ कोड राइट करने के लिए इस्तेमाल नहीं करना है, आपने कोड को प्लान करने के लिए और आर्किटेक्चर को प्लान करने के लिए AI को यूज करना है, and that's I think where your power is going to be. So what does it mean for us if AI is not going to replace our jobs? Well, let me tell you, if it's not replacing our jobs right now, it might as well in the future. ठीक है, future में किसी time पे AI will become self-sufficient enough to write your entire applications on their own. And probably right now as well, there are things like Lovable, etc. that can generate complete full-stack applications from just a prompt. They are not that reliable once again, but they do the job, and they will keep getting better with time. So where does that put us developers? ठीक है, what's your strong suit? What is going to make you above AI for companies? I think that's your creative thinking. ठीक है, आपकी creative thinking, आपकी problem solving ability, ठीक है, आपकी conflict analysis की ability, आपकी conflict resolution की ability, आपकी problem analysis की ability, all of these soft skills and the skills that are the foundation of an excellent developer are what's going to make you the best developer out there for the job. So you don't just become an AI user to become a better developer, you become an AI instructor, you become an AI creator, you become somebody who understands both AI and human behavior, and that's going to put you in the top 1%. Once you understand both of the dynamics, once you understand AI and humans as well, I think you become an irreplaceable developer. You understand the code, you understand how AI is going to write it, you understand how you can use AI to make the best out of the code, and you understand how to present that code to people, and you understand how to take requirements and turn them into features. As long as you understand that, that, I think you are good to go. And also we have to remember कि जो लोग ये बातें कहते हैं कि AI is going to replace software engineers या developers या flan job, those are the people actually selling the AI products to us. ठीक है, तो it's their job. If they are not going to say these kind of flashy things to investors or to public, so who's going to buy the product, right? So you have to always keep that in mind. And then you also have to remember कि AI so far is not going to replace you in any way so far, ठीक है, until and unless you are a very below the belt mediocre developer, ठीक है, and you do only the redundant things that any developer can do. Now, if you found this video interesting, here's another video that I think you might like, and feel free to subscribe to my channel because that's how you can support me. Thank you so much for watching anyways.